Hey guys, happy Monday evening to everybody. It is late, it's dark outside here. Although it's getting dark very early nowadays because of the time change, but that's okay. I wanted to come back on because today during my lunch hour, I took the time to finish going through and organizing, like I explained in my previous video on how to build your baby's wardrobe. I touched on whether whether or not you need to reorganize so you can see everything. I showed you a few of how I've arranged my dresser drawers. All of Monroe's clothes are in this dresser, as well as there's a couple of items that are hanging behind me that I purposely leave out. But if it doesn't fit in this dresser, it doesn't stay. That's just how it is. It's how I keep myself in check. It's how I don't overspend or end up with a lot of excess clothing, even though there's a lot packed in there and it still feels excessive to me. But by going through the drawers and rearranging each, I do it in the spring and I do it in the fall prior to the upcoming either warmer or colder months. And then I go through what I have. I kind of take an inventory of what I have, so to speak, and then I can get an idea of what I need or want to add to Monroe's wardrobe, or things that need to be leaving, whether it's through selling it, donating it, doing a giveaway, that sort of thing. That way I'm constantly purging stuff that I'm not using, so I don't just hold on to things for no reason. I only keep the things that I love. And someone had asked, well, do you ever regret getting rid of certain things and not holding on to them? Yes, it does occasionally happen where I kind of go, oh, I wish I had kept this item or that item. But for the most part, I feel good about what I do keep. So it's rare that I kind of regret anything that I purge. I actually feel like purging old things that are not being used, or just even things that you may not have used and you just don't have a use for, or you don't care for it as much as you thought you would. A lot of purchasing baby clothes for our dolls is a lot of trial and error, because different dolls have different body types, and certain types of clothing work on some body types and it doesn't on others. And so knowing the type of styles that look good on the body type of your baby is also helpful. It's just like us adults, we all have different body types that certain clothing either look great on or they don't look great at all, and you try to buy things that flatter, right? It's the same idea. With Monroe, I have the challenge of her curled up lower legs, like as if she has upper legs. That was really a funny statement. But her legs are curled and they're very chubby, and they're curled at an angle which makes certain styles of clothing, I don't care for them on her. So you'll rarely see her in an actual dress unless it's a really short dress that shows some of her legs. Because she doesn't have extended legs, you don't see her legs coming out from underneath a dress. So I just don't like the look of that. It just makes her look strange. I don't know. Some people would probably think it's cute. For me, I'd rather put a romper on her, because then you show her curled up legs and it's just more proportionate, and you can see her body better. And I love to see her curled up chunky legs. But froggy legs are another one. Similar to Monroe style legs. Froggy legs are also kind of curled up legs, or extremely bent legs in various positions. And rompers always seem to be my favorite thing for those babies as well. Like bloomy, overall style, long-legged rompers are just another style that really extremely bent leg dolls seem to get lost in. I know they don't look good on Monroe. They didn't look good on, I remember Abigail, which was one of my Romy Stridum babies that had froggy legs. They weren't curled up, but they were just extremely bent at a very much like a 90-degree angle. And, just dresses and or long-legged overalls or rompers. But full-legged ones that are bloomy, don't look well. Like, they just look odd to me because the baby kind of gets lost in them and you can't see their form. So those I don't care for either. So, just knowing what dolls you have and the body type that they have really will help you develop what you like and what kind of style suits them. Because for, the more picky, more discerned collector, I guess you could say, which I am super picky. I am OCD. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't stay on the baby. It's ridiculous. Some people are not less bothered by that, but I am a very particular type of collector that wants everything to look perfect. Hard to achieve ever, but I try to do my best. And so that's why knowing your baby's body type really, really does help kind of figure out how to dress your baby. So I'm going to quickly just show you an update of what I did in the drawers. So the top drawer, I just went through and just organized it a little bit. It took stock of what I had. If I wasn't using anything, it went. So it, for the most part, still looks about the same, but it's just better organized, and I know what I have in there because I went through it, and then I restacked everything so everything's nice and tidy. The biggest change is that I went ahead and I went through the drawer below this and added all of my Jamie Kay items into, so bloomers and onesies all got moved up into here from Jamie Kay, because I have a lot of them, and they're kind of, my dog woofing in the background, but they're all in here now. So everything has been moved from the drawer below, and I'm going to have to shush her again. Excuse me. Hey. Rue. Excuse me. She's barking at one of the other dogs. Not sure what she's doing. Let's hope she doesn't do that through the whole video. So anyways, all of the Jamie Kay onesies and everything that were packed in the drawer below are now up in this drawer. I've gone through my onesies and taken stock of what I have, and now I'm actually looking at purchasing a few new ones that I don't have that I see that are available, just to kind of add. So the key is to kind of look at what you have and try to add new things that you see that are available that you don't currently have that you want to have in your collection of clothing. I kind of look at clothing like a collection, I mean, it really is kind of part of the collecting for me, so it's kind of part of the deal, so I call it that. So the collection of onesies in which I have with the pretty collars, I like to have a variation of different style collars, and they have some new ones that are out that I really, really love, so I'll probably pick up a few. But it's now nice and tidy in there, so all onesies. Bloomers are here. This is a bloomer, and then the rest of my collared onesies are in the front. So then below, I should move that out of the way. This is where I have all of the outfits. So a lot of the knitted rompers. I would say the majority of what's in this drawer is from Jacquerie. Hands down, that's what's mostly in this drawer. So I took all of the Jamie Kay sweaters and tops, knitted sweaters, out of this drawer because they don't belong here. That'll be in the drawer below, and I'll show you that next. So I've got knitted rompers, long, these are full-legged rompers. These are like regular legless rompers and variations of all different winter ones. So all of the winter style comes to the top. So none of these were on top. They were actually at the very bottom of the drawer prior to me reorganizing and going through it, because I had all the summer stuff on top. So now the summer stuff has moved to the bottom and has now been arranged in a way that I know what's there as well. And if I want to part with anything, I can go ahead and do that now, or I can wait till spring when I go through it again and then see how I feel about certain things. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So then we have like all of my favorite like Jacquerie rompers, which I have a ton of them. And I have different knits, I have florals, I have a bunch, and that's what's on top. So this way, all of the winter and colder weather outfits, they're all at the top, so I can quickly thumb through and see what's available to me, to kind of pick the wardrobe of the day. And currently, there's a couple items I also I'm thinking of adding for this drawer as well, and there's plenty of room. It's not over full. There's nothing pouring out of it and falling out of it at this point in time because I have purged, and that really is the key. And so once you kind of go through it, it kind of frees up more space so that you can actually purchase a few extra items, and that's exactly what I do each season. So then it brings us down to the bottom drawer. Okay, so this is, as I explained yesterday, this is like my outerwear, sweaters, hats. That's basically what you're going to find in this drawer. So all of the summer hats have been now moved to the bottom. They were kind of mishmashed, and I've gone through them 1,000 different times throughout summer. And other things were kind of added and just thrown in there because it was kind of an excess drawer, and that's what kind of happens over time. They start really nice and neat, and then as time goes on and you're in a hurry, you don't put everything back in the right place, so they just go in a drawer. But now they've been put in order. I've got the knitted hats over here. So we've got knitted hats, and then at the very bottom is where you'll find all her summer hats. And then we've got, these are actually little half sweaters. So there's a little pile of like 4 or 5 half sweaters of various colors. I've got gray, red, white, cream, and a couple others. And then we have just regular, I think the UK ladies call them jumpers. We just call them basic sweaters. But I have a stack of those right here, and there's a bunch of different ones. These are all jacquardie. Up behind there, you'll see the pink. There's a couple of just button-down cardigan sweaters, also jacquardie in various colors. And then we also have more button-down sweaters here, and they're like stacked in 3s in different colors. So these are where I put my Jamie Kay sweaters. So all of the Jamie Kay sweaters, whether they're cardigans and or just traditional sweaters, they're all here, all in order. And at the very bottom are where the coats are. That's where I do have outerwear. I have a snowsuit, but it's in a box, and it's actually behind my chair because it came in a beautiful gift box from my wonderful dear friend Diana a few years ago. I guess it's like a couple years ago because I had Monroe and she got it for Monroe. So anyways, so I do have outerwear, but I keep it, that's tucked away in its beautiful gift box behind the rocking chair. But this is like the outerwear drawer, and now it's all good to go for the season. And then over here, I did not show you this drawer either. This is, gosh, what is this drawer? This is like a catch-all drawer as well, of sorts. So I have a lot of blankets in here. I have all of my cloth diapers in here of various kinds, and they're just stacked deep. It's where I keep my Silpoxy, which, note to self, as I was going through the drawer, I pulled it out, and it was rock hard. It's a big tube. It was like the biggest tube you can buy of the Silpoxy. And I haven't used it in forever, and apparently, even though I have it like triple Ziploc bagged, air got into it through the top, I guess, and now I need to buy a new one if I need to do any repairs, which I haven't had to, so knock on wood, I don't have to do any repairs and will need to, but I have to toss out that Silpoxy tube. It's kind of funny. I also have like different types of receiving blankets and or muslin blankets and or the real soft silky type of blankets. I have some blankets that have Monroe's name embroidered on them. I have a handful of those. But this is where I store the blankets I readily use. The blankets that I'm not readily using and don't need to keep available, I actually have in the bins there's 3 bins in the nursery. I'll show you quick. There's one, there's another, and there's my flip-flops, and there's another. And that's actually where I keep all of my blankets that I'm not currently using. They're like heavier blankets or thicker blankets, and I have blankets there. I have blankets everywhere, you guys. Blanket, like I have a blanket obsession. It's kind of ridiculous, but I try to keep the ones I'm actually want to use on a regular basis, especially for like picture taking, like to put her on, to stage pictures, or just to lay her on because it's pretty. I like to keep those all out. So that's kind of the drawer for that. And you guys saw my, okay, So the things I did do is I moved some of the popular sleepers and put them on top. Like this is a velour sleeper I don't want to roll because it makes it weird. So there's a couple of style sleepers that I'll lay on top, which is what I did here, and the rest of them are rolled underneath. So that's been updated as well. And that's all the dresser drawers. So the next thing I want to show you guys is, I'm hoping this isn't going to cast a weird shadow. We'll do it over this way. Okay. Are the shoes. That's what most people want to see. They want to know where I keep my shoes. They all belong in these bins. So everything that I have for shoes are in here. These are the only ones I think that are loose that I don't have boxes for. The rest of them live in boxes. So Jacquerie shoes, they're like filled. Let's make sure you guys can see it. Yep. So that's what I keep stored in all of these bins, because then I can pull a bin out and go through it. And I have an idea of what's in each bin. But majority of what I have are going to be Crya & Company and Jacquerie. Those are the brands that I find that I like the most for how they fit. And then there's some like toys, like stuffed toys that are mixed in there with the shoes in a couple of the bins. These are more shoes. I have tons of Jacquerie shoes. I forgot what I actually had until I started looking through them. I'm not currently parting with any because I have a use for all of them, and they're really hard to find the really teeny, perfect shoes that I love. More shoes, and these are little bag shoes. So that's how I kind of, this will go back into one of the bins. As soon as I'm done putting, like once I change her, but then more than likely, she tends to wear more shoes during the winter months, I guess, because it's cooler out, makes more sense. I don't know. I just like how she looks without shoes in the summertime, because you wouldn't put shoes on on a hot day on a young baby. I don't know. At least I wouldn't. But so that's where all of the shoes live. And then this is kind of the things that I have hung up that she obviously won't be wearing the rompers and the dress and everything, but this she'll definitely wear this fall. I love that. That's one of my favorite rompers. But that's all the clothing. So there's no hidden clothes that I have stashed anywhere. What you see in the organization of it is all packed into this dresser. And as much as people don't think that that's a lot of storage, that's a ton of storage, because I have a lot of clothes, believe it or not. And I've only removed a handful of things to make room for some new purchases, which now, after being able to go through all of this, because I did this earlier today and from over the weekend as well, I know what I want to add to it. So now it makes it easy for me to add those other additional special pieces that I have in mind. And because I don't know if anybody else out there does this, but I actually put things in my cart all the time. And luckily most online stores save your cart. So you can go back and edit after you go through your drawers. And then get rid of the things you find that you actually already have. And then you can keep the ones in the cart and purchase the ones you actually really want. So it's a really great way to take inventory, know what you have, and then start purchasing some special things to go with what you currently have and the outfits you kind of picture that you want to put together for the season. And that really helps cut back on the excess, like I said. And it also helps you find those beautiful special pieces that you really want and envision to put together for whether it's Christmas or just for cold weather, any special activity going on, or just for fun. And this kind of inventory and keeping track of things, it really works for me. Another way would be to have like a little closet organizer stand where you can just hang the clothes if you have room for that, because this room doesn't have a closet, so mine tends to be, in there. Or a lot of people use bins, whether they're plastic bins or like the kind I have. Anything that works for you in the space that you have is good. As long as you can see what you've got. So that's going to wrap up this particular part 2 of my How to Build Your Baby's Wardrobe series. And the next one will actually be, I'm going to pull out some different rompers and or outfits. I'm going to show you how I pair them and how I put them together and how I figure out what's going to look good and kind of my method of doing that. So hopefully you guys, this is helpful, or you're finding it helpful at least, and that you will tune in and continue watching the rest of the series. Hopefully it's enjoyable. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you're having a great start to your work week, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.